tell me what to say.
Hello and welcome to another exciting new episode of Serious Nibbage with B.R.E.
And gourmet pens.
That's her.
That's
and
me.
Today we will be discussing this pen, the Marlen Aleph.
You're scary.
That's what she said. Anyway, this is a very fascinating pen. As we understand it, it was developed in collaboration with members from an Italian fountain pen forum made by Marlen. What were your first impressions?
My first impressions were first impressions. Oh my god.
Really?
Oh my god. Okay. We don't have the packaging still, but the pen actually is packaged in recycled cardboard materials, which is paper materials. And so it's cardboard and paper. So there's a little paper sleeve and there's a cardboard box. And it's not very big, so it's just a little bit bigger than the pen, which I like because it's not a waste of space. And I am all for green stuff. So I'm really
Any green stuff?
I'm really impressed that Marlen chose to use recycled materials for their packaging.
That is nice.
And also, it's recyclable.
Yep.
So that's really cool. And I love that. So there was no wasted space. There was no all sorts of stuff in the box or anything. It was just basic needs.
No waste of anything, really.
And also, you're not presumably paying a whole bunch of extra for the packaging.
Yep.
So that was the packaging. As for the pen is fairly large-ish. It's very attractive. You want to show it. It's a pearlescent gray, silvery gray. I think it's very pretty. And I believe there's also a black version.
No, I think this is the only version.
Okay, never mind.
As I understand it. I could be wrong.
Maybe the black version is an older model or a prototype or something.
Well, it was a limited edition.
Yeah.
If I'm correct.
It's very tastefully done. The script that's on the pen, the Marlen Aleph, Italy, and the font, it says collection, and then I guess the pen number.
I think so, yeah. It was,
it's very tasteful. So aesthetically, I find the pen very pleasing, and I was really excited about the nib because not only does it look very unique, it has also a clear feed, which is, it's not the only pen that has a clear feed, but it looks really wicked.
It does look cool.
So you can actually see right through it, and you can see the ink in there. It's really fun. So, and it's got the little wings cut into the nib, and it's got a heart-shaped breather hole, so it's really pretty and happy. So anyway, yeah, overall, my first impressions were very positive, both in terms of the packaging and the pen and the nib.
I like the packaging too. It's definitely different. I couldn't recall any other pen that actually came in packaging like that. So it's nice that they did something that's very environmentally friendly.
And they say so on the packaging.
And they do say so.
That
yes.
It's 100% recycled.
By the way, apologies if I'm sniffing a bit. I have a cold, so I'm trying not to be disgusting, but I am what I am. As to the pen, as to the pen, my initial impression was very good. It's a nice pen, relatively large, as Aziza said, a very nice finish, nice pearlescent finish. It looks nice. It's definitely pleasant to hold. So my initial impressions were very good. But what makes it special?
What makes it special is the nib. It is a steel nib, but it is actually sold as a flexible steel nib, not a semi-flex, not a steel nib with some spring. It's actually supposed to be flexible. So that is one factor that makes it special. You want to show the nib again, just in case people want to see it. And also, it's kind of special in the fact that it was designed in collaboration with the forum. I can't remember what the forum is called.
No, I will have to add a...
sorry. But
it's very unique that it is sort of a user-guided development of a pen.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of thoughtful of them to have sought the opinions of we lowly fountain pen users.
Yeah, the actual users. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's very special, and of course, it's not that there are no other modern pens out there that are marketed as having flex nibs, but I think many of them are in a relatively low price segment unless you go for pens with titanium nibs. But as Aziza said, this is a steel nib, so that easily puts you in the range of nudeless pens, maybe some of the Indian pens, the Surwax pens, etc. But this
In
is
terms of the nibs.
in terms of nibs,
Not
yes,
price.
but this is indeed this is a much more higher end pen.
Yeah, we'll cover the prices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your writing experience like?
My writing experience, well, I was very excited to try the nib, of course. First,
Because you're a pretty flexy lady.
well, I'm a very flexy lady. Can't believe I responded to that. Um, the in hand for me, the pen is not too large. So even though it is a large pen,
No, a little bit.
Not.
A little bit there, I can see a bit.
oh sorry, yeah, it's not too large. So it is a decent size for smaller hands, unposted. The nib itself is quite smooth, which is nice for a steel nib. Sometimes they can be scratchy. Any nib could be scratchy, but it was quite smooth. So I was kind of surprised that it was smooth. I don't know why. I guess I expect steel flex nibs to not be smooth, just because
No,
I've
it's
had
possible.
other steel flex nibs that are not
Not
all
the
that
smoothest
smooth.
in the world.
No names mentioned, but you know.
Not as nudeless.
Well, no, because I also have an Airmail 444, which is it's a steel nib, very nice flex, but it's not the smoothest.
No, and there's nothing wrong with nudeless.
Yeah.
I've not had any issues with it. I was just kidding.
No, it's just a bit scratchy. That's all. So this was quite smooth. And so under normal writing conditions, with no pressure, it had very good flow. I was really impressed with it, and so of course I had to flex it. So it has these little wings, which are supposed to. I can't do that. I can't figure out the angle here. It's supposed to be aesthetic, but also it does reduce the amount of pressure required to flex the nib.
Mhm.
So a lot of modern nib modifications do this, where you have the little wings cut into the side of the nib so that you don't have to put so much pressure.
Doesn't Pendleton Brown do something like
Yeah,
that?
I think
with
he
his
calls them
nibs?
angel wings.
Yeah, I think he did.
And they are pretty angelic. It looks pretty cool. It's a very nice aesthetic touch.
Yeah.
So it is fairly easy to flex it. It's certainly not as difficult as other steel flex nibs, which I was pleased with. So in terms of the flex capacity, it is decent. My issue was that it ran dry. And of course, this can happen with any flex nib. And even if I slowed down, it still would run dry. After a certain point, it just runs dry. And then I had to prime it. This isn't the end of the world. I mean, this happens with other flex pens, but usually with other flex pens, you just tap the nib a little and it'll pick up again. But with this one, it just like totally dried out. So, and this happened with several different inks, so it wasn't just the ink. And for a pen that is sold as a
marketed
flex
as
nib,
flex.
yeah, marketed as a flex nib, I expected a bit better of a flow.
But I think in this case that what might also be an issue is that you are very used to vintage flex, which is a whole different ballgame from most modern flex pens.
This is true, but I also use modern flex pens.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying that I mean, many of the if you think of 14 karat vintage flex, there are pens that just won't run dry. You can just keep flexing.
Yeah.
And I've never ever seen that on any modern flex pen.
Yeah.
For example,
yeah.
just to I'm not saying
No.
just a nuance.
I do prefer vintage flex because of that. But again, the line, the variation, the capacity is quite decent. And when it is flowing, it is not too bad. So the experience was mixed. It was smooth. It is a comfortable pen, but I was a bit disappointed that it ran dry, so dry. Once it was dry, I just couldn't get it going again without really pumping the ink through.
Yeah, I don't want to reiterate everything you said because my experiences rather strongly reflected yours.
Mhm.
I do like it. It is smooth. It does offer nice line variation, more than just semi-flex, I would say.
Yeah, yeah.
But indeed, it will run dry. And a fascinating thing that you can see, I don't know how clear this will be in the video, but that you see is that
That's
there
pretty clear.
seems to be ink coming from the barrel, and then there is a bit of a gap, and then there's ink at the end again. Now, normally feeds aren't clear, so I don't know if that's normal. Of course, there's the breather hole, which lets through some light here. Maybe that distorts the image a bit. But I think this pen could do with somewhat wetter feed or better air replacement. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't just have a solution for that problem. It plagues many pens that claim to be semi-flex. I think you could do worse than get this pen for flex. We'll come back to whether I would buy it or not later. Um, I liked it a lot, especially also because of the size, which I think is nice big section, a decently sized pen. So I kind of enjoyed it. Now, are there any things that you loved about it?
Well, I think it's a. You can hold it. I think it's a very attractive pen. I love the nib concept. I think that it's really. I love that they have cut into the nib to. From what I understand, they have done this for aesthetic reasons, but really, it really reduces the amount of pressure required to flex it,
Yep,
which
does
is an
make a
issue I have with other steel nibs. Other steel flex nibs, especially larger ones where it really takes a lot of pressure. And for people who have arthritis or something, this kind of nib might be easier for them to write with
Yes.
because you don't have to put substantial pressure on the nib to get it to flex. So I really enjoy that concept. I love the clear feed. It's really beautiful to look at.
Anything you hate about it?
Well, I hate that it runs dry. It's really annoying.
Yeah, that's true.
So mean, see? So mean.
I love the looks of the pen. I like the flex capacity too. It is nice. It is nice to have a modern pen that does that. Another thing that indeed I love the clear feed too. One thing I really enjoyed is that it really has an actual piston filler. When I saw this thing at the end, I thought it was a converter that was built into the pen, but I got out the nib and feed and actually shone a flashlight in there, and it's an actual piston as far as I can see, which is nice because there are much more expensive pens that say they're piston filled and actually have just converters built into the barrel. Does it make a big difference? In the end, a converter is a piston too, but it does make a difference for the ink capacity. And I'm not saying this has, a huge 6 milliliter ink capacity. It doesn't make that big a difference, but I do like it. I like that it's actually what they say it is. Things I hate about it, yes, the fact that it does run dry, that's a pity, because when you're flexing, just having, flexy fun, it would be nice if it wouldn't just, if you would be able to keep going. And especially for really extensive flex, it works well. My experience though was that if you treat it as a semi-flex pen, so you don't flex it completely, it does much better, and it doesn't run dry so easily. But of course,
Well, yeah, but
then you can
but
raise
then
the
it should
question
be a
of,
semi-flex.
yeah, exactly. Then is it really worth it? Now, would you buy it?
No.
No?
It's currently 169 euros,
Yes.
and I not that I think it's overpriced, but I just don't.
You don't think it's underpriced then?
No, because I mean it isn't. From what we understand, it is a piston filler. It is a large pen. It is really well put together.
Work went into it. That is clear.
It is really well done.
It's not crappily put together, for lack of a better word.
Yeah. It feels good. It's robust. But for me, I wouldn't buy it.
I am torn. I got this pen from Marlen to review it. I would be inclined to say that I would also buy it. Not because I got it from Marlen, but because some of the things I really like is the piston fill capacity, also the looks, and definitely the size of the pen. It's a really nice, for me, it's a really nice size. I wouldn't call this an oversized pen, but it's definitely not small. And for me, that's a
No, for your size hands, it's like a normal pen. Really, yeah.
Can you do that? Yeah, so it depends a bit on your hand size. The flex capacity, I'm sure it would be nice if it would be a bit wetter, but I don't exactly hate it. I like the fact that you get this line variation, so I would buy it. Now,
That's cool.
the big question is it or is it not serious nibbage?
This was actually the suggestion of a commenter,
Yes.
and I can't remember who commented, but thank you for the awesome suggestion.
Yes, it's nice.
So we have taken your suggestion into account.
Well, obviously she's wrong. And, no, I'm just kidding. Opinions vary, and this is a pen that I would really recommend if you want it. See if you can try it out in a fountain pen store somewhere. That may not be very easy.
Well, if you're here, La Couronne's account has them.
La Couronne does have them. You may want to give this a shot before you pull the trigger. Borrow someone else's, etc.
But as you said, treat it as a semi-flex, not a full flex.
Then I think you will be much more satisfied than when you, especially if you're like you and you're a sort of
Like
sport,
the you?
like you.
So rude.
I have a
Oh,
cold.
so mean.
I mean, you have a lot of experience with really nice 14K vintage flex, and
Yeah, but
no modern pen will ever equal that.
this
That's
is
just-
true. But if it's marketed as a flex,
Yeah, I
I'm
agree.
going to treat it like a
I
flex.
agree.
So.
I agree.
But anyway,
Now, we want to know what you think.
yes.
If you have one, tell us. Do you think it's serious nibbage or not?
Yes.
Also,
if you have any serious Nibbage pen requests or other requests, please leave a comment down below. Also, if you like us, please like us.
you know that when you say other requests, people are going to say...
Oh, that's not what I meant. I
you can
meant
do
like,
topless next time.
oh my god, maybe they want to see you do a topless. I meant like paper or ink or something, or something.
Sure.
Like that. Yeah.
No, I believe you.
Yeah. So just leave a comment down below, and if you see somebody else's comment that you want to see that pen, click like so it'll
Like
light up and we can see it.
Yes.
That will be awesome, and we will do our best to accommodate. Yes.
Yes. Well, we hope this was useful.
Mm-hmm. And we will see you later.
Probably.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, 17 minutes. That was a pretty long one.
I beg your pardon. Let us do a sound test. That means you need to say something.
Oh. Hello.
That took you some effort.